Stay. Stay. Excuse me, my dog got a little rowdy here at the last second as I started the video. My name is r.p.berry. Many of you know who I am. Many of you do not. I have had some unusual people contact me recently. I've discussed others. I have people contact me privately. Some of them speak to me in posts on social media, but so many contact me privately and they will not comment publicly about anything that I've written or what they've written. Excuse me, just noticed my glasses are missing. They contact me with unusual questions. I've had a man again contact me and say, sir, let me tell you, and I respect this man. I've seen his work, I've seen his websites, but he has papers out and he has other writings out to where he's concurring with other men to where we're not going to have a cure for aging until the year 2050 or beyond. That's not the truth. We've had the possibility, even over a century ago, to cure aging, and today we have the positive, conclusive way of curing aging, and I have found it in the data of, as I say, scientists over a century ago and scientists of today, of the present day society, civilization of mankind. But I had several gentlemen contact me. One, a scientific mind who told me he has watched my videos, plural, saying that he has watched my videos and that he sees that I'm wearing a cross. He watches my many videos where I'm saying I need partners, investors, promoters. I need people to join me in the now end of aging because I have found in the data of mankind the causes of aging, and I have found a cure for aging in the existing data of mankind. Now, this man told me that you're wearing a cross. Are you a Christian? I told him, no, I believe in life. I'm not truly a Christian. I believe in life. Excuse me. I respect Christians, but I am not a Christian. I'll knock somebody out of my way if they get in my way, too aggressive with me. I'll cuss them out of my way if they're being vulgar to me or they're being unpleasant to me. I will cuss them from my path. And if they decide to get physical with me, I will beat them from my path. I also wear a cross ring. Nobody's ever asked me about that. I've noticed it exposes itself during some of my videos. I wear a cross ring so I can touch the cross on occasion, even look at it. I normally keep it turned towards me to where I can just take a glance at it and then go on about my business. But when somebody's getting aggressive with me, I'll turn my cross ring around and get ready for them to attack me because I want to leave little tattoos of the cross that seems to offend them so greatly. I want to leave little crosses all over their forehead, all over their face, on the side of their neck, wherever I punch them at, so they can go home and have a remembrance of what got their ass whooped. But this other gentleman that contacted me, he also a scientific mind, tells me he's watched my videos. He tells me, sir, I have to point out to you that there won't be a cure until the year 2050. And then I go examine his work, and I respect this man. I've seen his work before, but I see his work, and I see that he's written papers, and he's also got websites, and I believe even books out to where he concurs with other gentlemen that say we're not going to have a cure for aging to 2050 or beyond. Very unusual to me. These men say that they're searching today for a cure, and they go to gatherings such as Radfest, such as other conferences around the earth, to where they say that they are trying to find a cure, and they're searching these certain chemicals and different things to see if they will help heal mankind of the dreaded disease that I know is a disease. It leaps from the pages of every biology book. It leaps from the pages of every scientific paper. But these men cannot see the fact that we have a horrible infection, a horrible disease that destroys our cells individually the day long. Without this disease, our cells would live 10 years, 20 years, maybe even 100 years, causing our human body to live centuries if we just did not have a horrible infection that attacks our individual cells through the main nucleus of our somatic cells, which is the gut of mankind, which is the lungs of mankind, which is the foods of mankind that have to pass through this system. All these ways our individual cells are killed the day long. And science has massive amounts of data pointing to that fact, but they cannot see it. So I pointed out to them. Data also has the data of past researchers, the data of current researchers leaping out of the pages saying that we have a cure. They have researched things from hundreds of years ago to this day that prove we have a cure for aging. Very unusual. Now take Radfest. I went to Radfest and I ran into some serious lunatics at Radfest. One attacked me at the dinner party, literally come up and shoved me from behind as I'm standing in line for the dinner party. A man who jumped in front of me and said, "You look ignorant. You're standing there like you own this place." I said, "What are you talking about? You're standing there like you own this place." I was sick. I caught a virus on the plane going down there. I went down there a day early. And then the second day, we all registered for Radfest. And then Radfest began. And this man attacked me, basically, at this dinner party and shoved me and said that I looked ignorant and that my accent was stupid. This man had a horrible accent from another country. I don't know if he was from, I say horrible, a strong accent that was from either Pakistan, India, someplace. He turned out to be one of the vendors there trying to sell things at Radfest, and I was attacked by the man. He was standing there very aggressive, and I was trying to smile through it. I was standing there with probably 101, 102 degree temperature, and he shoved me and then told me that I looked ignorant and I sounded stupid. I didn't comment on his accent, but he kept commenting on mine. So I finally said, "Do you know, my friend," in a very hard voice. I sounded like Kermit the Frog. My throat was inflamed. Like I said, I had a fever. And I told him, "You know, my friend, my ancestors would come back to life and whoop my ass if I got rid of my accent. So all I can say to anyone that doesn't like my accent, that they can kiss my shiny bottom." He stood there staring at me for a minute. We're staring at each other. I started looking for a place to put down my plate. I was that close to just throwing my plate and saying, "Do you want some of this? You know, what are you doing? What madness are you in here?" Then when he sees me trying to find a place to put down my plate, he says, "Well, why did you come here?" Out of the blue. I said, "Well, I come here to represent my company, but right now I'm sick, wanting to feed myself, so please leave me alone." He said, "Why did you come here?" I said, "I just asked you. I come to this room to feed my body. So please, leave me alone." And I just turned away from him. As I say, I seen him the next day. And when I did, I walked by him and I put my fist out to him. I stepped into his booth and I put my fist out to him like, "Bump fists with me, man, because I'm still kind of upset. Will you show me that you've lost your anger here?" And he stepped forward and bumped my fist. And then I went on about my way. Another nut approached me immediately after that at Radfest. A lunatic, and he was calling everybody there a lunatic. Young man, maybe 39, 40 years old. I'm 64 going on 65. So when I see a man 40 years old, I call him a boy sometimes, I say this young man, he's a very large man, a very heavy set, carrying quite a bit of weight. I'm trying to eat my food. I moved to a table by myself. After the confrontation with that man, I said, "I'm going to eat my food, and if I can see an intelligent mind here, I'm going to talk with him." And praise the Lord, I did finally see someone that had a brain. But this young man said, "How crazy are you?" I'm eating my food. He's standing over me. He's folding his arms. He's pacing back and forth. He's looking at me very aggressive. I said, "Man, am I going to be able to get out of this building without kicking somebody's butt? What's going on here?" And I said, "I'm eating here, my friend. He said, are you like these other crazy people? Was his exact words. I said, these other crazy people? I told him, I said, I've seen some nice people here. And he says, no, they're all crazy. I said, if you feel they're all crazy, my friend, why are you here? His exact words, I don't want to die. Yet every person there he's saying is crazy. He's talking about men such as Aubrey de Grey, Bill Falloon, Bill Andrews, Ray Kurzweil. Speaking of all the people at this event were crazy, apparently, except himself, considering himself to be a brilliant man. And I told him, well, why are you here? He says, I don't want to die. I said, are you a scientist? Are you a biologist? He said, no, but I've written books on the subject. I've written 2 books. I said, well, that's good. I said, man, that's impressive, man. I said, I've written books and, just short stories. That's a tough thing to do. You got my respect writing these books, doing everything I could to get along with this man. And he says, do you have a card? I said, I had a full box of cards at my house that I wanted to bring with me, but my wife asked me to take out the trash just before I left the house, and I ended up leaving 250 cards on my dining room table that I planned on giving out to men and women here at this event. And he said, well, I've got my cards. He took them out of his wallet. I reached forward to grab one. He pulls it away from me, puts them back in his wallet and shuts it. Puts it in his pocket. Finally, I folded my arms with him and I said, my friend, what do you want? What are you talking about? He says, I want to know your website. I want to see your website. Do you have a website? I said, yes, I do. I said, here, let me write it down for you. And I wrote it down and I handed it to him. And I said, check that out next week, my friend. He sat down across from me and he very aggressively said, no, we're going to look at it right now. I'm going to see just how crazy you are. He's done said everybody there is insane. Apparently thinks he's the only one not insane. And I told him, I said, go ahead, my friend, while I take a bite of my food. He's already, this big man beat the crowd. He had already ate 2 or 3 plates, apparently. And I'm just now trying to get a bite of food in my mouth. And he sat there and looked at my website for a minute. And he said, well, I guess I'll finish looking at this next week. My website's very large, has a lot of information on it. And he stood up and he looked at me. He said, well, have a good day. I'm going to go off and talk to some other people. I said, you too, man. Get away from me, man. I'm trying to eat, sitting there with a fever. I did have a couple of margaritas. I don't pay over $3,000 to go anywhere that I don't attempt to enjoy myself. So I was trying to enjoy myself after I finished my food. I got up and talked to a few people. But that's some of the clowns you run into in this world. I run into them on social media. I seen a lady there that I have great respect for, Bernadeane. Her name is Bernadeane Brown, but she has earned the respect of so many. She's known now merely as Bernadeane. Bernadeane. I tell people now, what about Bernadeane? Because when I seen her speak, she was so inspiring. She says, I'm not giving up. This woman's heading towards 90 years of age, and she says, I'm not giving up. No, I'm not giving up. I'm not going to die. And I'm thinking, wow, this poor little baby. And she's saying, we got to do this together, everybody. We got to help each other, everybody. And I'm sitting there saying, man, I've got to save Bernadeane. You don't think she can be saved? We have the science right now. We can save Bernadeane. But she's got to listen to me. She's got to do everything I tell her. But she's got men around her telling her, nah, 2050, Bernadeane, hang in there, baby. Hang in there. What about Bernadeane? What about James Stroll? What about Jim Falloon? He's my exact age. He's just a couple of months older than me. What about Bill Falloon? Bill Falloon. What about his associates? What about Bernadeane? I made an offer to some men there at Radfest that I've never made to anyone else. On my main website, you can go see that I tell anyone else $10 million and you become a 50-50 partner with me. When I got to Radfest, and I had already been impressed, but when I got to Radfest, I said, I'm going to make these people a gift. I'm going to make them an unusual offer. I made them an offer of me retaining 20% of my serum. But I told him when we get into the main body of the Gerivify algorithm, after that, that we become third partners with each other. We become partners in each other, with each other 30%. But I made them an offer that if they paid a certain amount of money to my great benefactor, to my only investor, my wife, that they pay her to get her 20% back from her, that they could have that 20% plus 60% of Gerivify the serum. Because I told them, we must get on this now, or Bernadeane is not saved by anyone, or you are not saved by anyone. Apparently, they're still mulling over my offer. They did email me, tell me that the website wasn't working. I made a special site, a special presentation site that only I let them see, and 19 people did check it out. Then after I seen they checked it out, I closed down the site again. I reverted it and closed it down. Since then, I've had many strange people come to my main website to where they show up and it says region unknown. This has never happened to me before. Over 5 years, never has Google not been able to know who come to my website. But all of a sudden, unknown region has showed up to my websites and showed up there in droves. The first day of unknown region, there was over 100 hits from an unknown company, an unknown billionaire, whatever the case may be. And still, apparently, they're mulling over my offer. I'm fixing to offer it to other people. But I had never given such an offer, and I won't give an offer to other people. The price will be more expensive to other people. But I was so impressed with Bernadeane. I was so impressed with James Stroll. I was so impressed with Bill Falloon. I was so impressed with Dr. Aubrey de Grey. I was even impressed with Bill Andrews, a man who, the moment I began talking to him, became insulted and stomped off and refused to talk to me. And I have his image on one of my main websites on my social media. I respect him still. Bill Falloon's just tired of dying, apparently. He stomped off and didn't talk to me anymore. I also have men contacting me telling me, what do you mean woman has won the battle of life against aging and death? A site I have on my social media sites. I made it years ago because I'm so impressed with woman, but also because our ancestors are so impressed with woman. They gave goddess name as the woman that stands against death, as the woman that heals man, as the woman that's the goddess over medicine, over healing. And today I've had women, scientists, that help direct me to the causes, and they didn't know they'd done it. They didn't know they had located one of the causes of aging and death. So I built a site saying, woman has won the battle of life against aging and death, to respect my ancestors, to respect woman. Because in my opinion, I believe there would be no civilization if man was a being that just multiplied and didn't need to have sex with a woman to bring forth life. If man did not have woman as the catalyst to build a shelter, I believe mankind would be out in the cold, sitting on a rock somewhere with a club in his hand, saying, stay away from my rock, eating bugs off of his butt, and never thinking about building a city, a nation, a land, a society where he could protect his woman and his children. To where he throws her on his back sometimes in the past, running, trying to outrun animals, trying to outrun other men from other lands that were uncivilized. He was running till he could find a land to where he could build a civilization, build an America, build a Greece, build a Rome, build a Samaria, build an Israel. Without woman, he would just be maybe even a cannibal, killing other men, eating them, and say, stay the hell away from my rock. That's how important woman and children, a family, has been to mankind. He worked his butt off to build nations, to build homes, to build walls to protect their nation, to build lands. Civilization, humanity built because of woman needing a shelter and the man loving that cute little butt, loving that cute little face, loving her beautiful conversation, that he built a place for her to survive and live. My name is Rodney Berry. I look for men to help me save woman from civilization to explode. I look for men to join me in the now end of aging. I have found the causes and the cure for aging. Due to woman in science, due to women of the past, due to the women in my family, due to my children, my little boys, my little girls, due to my sons, my brother that is dead and gone. Due to these things, I have found the causes and the cure for aging. My name is Rodney Berry. What about Bernadeane? What about your sisters, your wives, your daughters, your sons? What about them? It is time we now end aging and death, to end this circus that we see before us. Men saying that we can't cure aging, so shut up. We believe we're going to be a robot. We're going to have our head cut off in 2050 and put on a damn robot. I love Ray Kurzweil. I love many men. Ray Kurzweil also believes in cures. Cures for aging. But there's men who follow him that attack me on social media, that have messaged me privately because they have written scientific papers, they have written books, they have written websites to where they say, oh, I hope I can make it to 2050. Hang in there, Bernadeane. We're going to get you there, baby. I say, let's cure Bernadeane now, and we can do it. We've got the science. Science can't be stopped except for those that suddenly say, in 2050, we're going to be really cool. My name's Rodney Berry. Join me. I need partners and investors. I need promoters. I need intelligent minds to now join me in the now end of aging and premature death. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy Christmas. Christmas. Enjoy it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Have a good day.